Welcome to The Tea with Martha, where we spill the tea on the untold truths and real struggles of entrepreneurship. I'm Martha Pachow, a fellow business owner who's learned the ins and outs of business the hard way. Get ready for unfiltered discussions on the highs, lows, and messy realities of entrepreneurship. It's time to spill the tea and vent it out with us.
Well, I am so glad that we're finally here. I'm actually airing our conversation. I mean, you guys are in for such a treat. My friend, and I want to say therapist and my shoulder to cry on, my stylist, all of the things. Megan, I'm so happy that I get to do life with you. And thank you for being here. Thank you for being in my life. And so, Megan. Hi. Megan DeHaan is the owner of Community Style House. She's a mother of two beautiful children and the secret sauce to so many, because I know I'm not the only one. So, enough about me spilling the tea on her. Megan, welcome to the show.
So glad to be here.
And so I just kind of want to share with the world about your journey. I mean, we see all the beauty. I mean, this space that we're in is so beautiful, you guys. And she's beautiful outside. I mean, look at her. Hello. But also, I think the thing I love most about you is your inner beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, tell us about your story. Tell us about, little background story, and then we'll dive into business and kind of where we're at today. Okay. So I always knew that I wanted to be in the beauty business. I mean, for proms, for dances, for this and that, I was always doing everybody's hair and makeup. And, I think that wanting to do hair and makeup stemmed from trauma of me having this wild hair that, in the 80s and 90s, nobody knew how to do. So I was just I'm going to nail this, and nobody ever is going to feel the way that I felt in all of this. And so I wanted to go to beauty school straight out of high school. And I come from a very well-educated family. My dad has his PhD in neurophysiology. Are you kidding me? This is he couldn't have thought of a worse job line to go into. He was just you're going to become a doctor. This is just the way it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor, therapist, whatever. So I was Dad, I want to go to beauty school. And he was great. You'll get your undergrad, and then when you're done getting your undergrad, then you're going to get your master's. And then if at that time you still want to go to beauty school, I mean, by all means, go right ahead. And so I obliged my dad, and I went to school for a semester and a half, and I was at the university, but I was not applying myself. School was just not a thing. A little backstory, I was diagnosed with ADD and dyslexia, early on, and actual scholastic school was, so hard for me. And, I still have nightmares about, being in school. And it's my brain knows, hi, you've been doing hair for 22 years, but, I just... I went to school, but it just was not my thing. I was doing the typical college student thing. And listen, I'm a lady of the Lord, so I'm not going to tell you what I was doing at college. But it certainly wasn't building the kingdom of God. I'll tell you that much.
Hey, we're spilling
It's all part of my story.
It's all part of the story. Been there, done that.
So anyways, I'm trying to think of a good way of saying this. I had a night in college that most girls have that impacted how I looked at myself, how I looked at other things and my worth. And then I had to go to school with this guy. And it became increasingly hard for me to attend class and do the things and be a part of. And my dad was kind of like, just come home and go to beauty school. I was like, hot dog, back in my car right now.
Yes.
So I went to beauty school, and I think the hard part about the age that I went to beauty school was I was 18. So like all of my friends are still like going out and going to college parties. And like I went to college in Texas, but then I came back to Arizona. So anyways, all of my Arizona friends were doing the spring break in Mexico and this and that, whatever. And I was in beauty school, and that's like a year-round kind of thing. It's not like you get to, no, none of that. Anyways, so I did that, and being 18, do you think I win every day? I didn't. Do you think I tell my girls now, just go to school and like grin and bear it and get through it? Anyways, so I think for me, there was a lot of pressure from my family to like achieve and do the things and all of that. And, fast forward like 5 years into my career, like I grew up never wanting for anything. My dad was a really hard worker. He got paid well to do what he did. And I've always had a job. I've always, even though my bills were paid for, like I always like had a drive to work. But getting into this business, this was the one thing my dad couldn't buy me. My dad couldn't buy me my clients. My dad couldn't buy me my integrity. My dad couldn't buy me my work ethic and what I stand for and my abilities to do so. And so like I feel like for kids that grow up in like an affluent type of home, you either are paralyzed by just having things paid for, or you're like, I want that too. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's been like my drive. I'm just like I'm so competitive. So like, I just like, I see how well my dad does, and I'm just like, I want that so bad. So good. So I think that's been like my driving force. And that's kind of the backstory of how I got into the business. So you go to school, you figure out it's not for you, and you do the change. You do the thing that you feel in your heart, and you follow what God put in you, in your soul. Tell us about your business. Tell us about how you have pushed through the good, the bad, the ugly, the really, really ugly. Yeah. And to be in this beautiful space that we now get to all enjoy. To live in my dream now. Like, what? Like, it's so wild. Like, I literally am living in my dream. Yes. Because it's so dreamy in here. I mean, you guys, like, I literally keep telling Megan, like, can I just have an office here? Like, I just want to hang out. Our Wi-Fi is great. Come on in. We love that community house. Just come work. Yeah. Come work at my table right over here. So good. But yeah, I know it looks really amazing in here. But I also know business, and I know that this didn't happen overnight. No, this didn't happen by coincidence, right? And so tell us the real tea. Spill the tea on where your business lies today. I started out, and I was like, I worked. By the time I graduated beauty school, I was 21. So you're doing 21-year-old things. Yeah. And I just like find it hilarious. I saw a meme this morning, and it was like the kids these days, they go out one night and they call into work the next 3 days. Man, I was going out 5 nights a week, and I was at work at 7:55 assisting 35 stylists myself. Not just one, like I was running laps around the salon, and like, it's funny to me. Like, my girls don't call out sick. I just want to be very clear. But like, when they get onboarded, I'm like, hey, so we don't do day offs. Okay.
Like, I don't care if you got
So,
COVID.
Here's
Get your butt into work.
Yes,
I
girl.
don't care.
Yes. So anyways, like I started out like just like I would think any other stylist. Like I assisted, then I went to like a commission position, and then I was young, and so I kind of bounced around, and I didn't understand the gravity of like staying somewhere and building roots. And I really feel like that is something I was just like, I was always thinking like, oh, the next best thing, which I don't really think that is like what I stand for now. I don't know what I was like walking through at that time.
Yeah, it's part of the journey that we learn.
Yeah. And then you want to hear about a full circle moment. The building that we're in is where I built my business. Like it was like the coolest thing. And I worked for this woman named Donatella, and I learned so much from her. She believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. She like had so much grace. Like I used to call in sick or show up late or like come to work without makeup on and sit at my station, plopping my feet up, putting my lashes on, doing the things. And like, I'm sorry, like what kind of a-hole policies and procedures is that? Like that is not how I present myself these days. And she was gracious. Was able to kind of like keep me in my lane and just like give me a space to like grow, and she saw me for who I was. And in that time I worked for her for like 8 years, and in that time I got put in front of a lot of people, and I got to be in rooms where I didn't deserve to be in. And I got to do things that I didn't deserve to do based on my skill set at the time. And I'm so thankful for the people that like believed in me in those moments. And they're like, no, this is where you need to be. And I can't thank those people enough, but I just feel like that was God just masterfully just like leading me to where I am today.
Yeah.
And so I worked here in this building for 8 years, and then we severed ties at that point, and I got pregnant with Luca, and I went to I guess one other salon, back to the salon that I assisted in. And then I started opening up my studios. And then it was 2020. And Kelsey, who my little sister that I own the business with, she was just like, she worked in the corporate world for like a decade and worked for my dad, and she just wasn't happy anymore. And I was like, you should go to beauty school, because she used to come with me on weddings and all of that kind of stuff. And I was like, why don't you just go to beauty school? So she went to beauty school in 2020, and she...
Oh my gosh, she stole it from your dad?
My poor dad, I swear. Like, it's not enough that my poor parents raised 2 barbarians. These perfect, cute girls, mom and dad, and barbarians. It's like negotiating with terrorists. Like, I don't even know how they did it. Like, I feel bad. Like, I just like want to go on record. Anyways, I feel like maybe since then we've made them proud, but like,
for sure.
There was a questionable period within that. So they've done well. They've done well. And honestly, it has been the most God anointed like season of my life. I am literally living out my dreams in the salon that I built my business. It is so amazing.
I just want to take a moment, because I think that it is so important to really acknowledge the process, right? Like I get this all the time, like, oh, wow, like that's so tough, so awesome, look how successful, to the outside person, right? It might look from the outside to the in, but this is the whole point, is that we really tell the stories of the behind the scenes, and it wasn't like a few months, right? Like this was years of buildup and iterations of yourself, of your journey, of your business, of your identity. And then you get blessed by your sister. And you guys, I'm going to have Kelsey on, because Y'all think I'm funny, sister.
Oh,
Not even close. I can't with these two. I adore them. And we can laugh and sit for hours, but we'll spare you because you'll be lost in translation. But, really just looking back, like how full circle, how God makes gardens out of ashes in so many ways that, because your business is beautiful, it's successful, it's continuing to grow, and I know and I'm believing for even greater because I know you like have that.
Yeah.
You've already made it this far, but it's not my fault. God is like, hey, more, and I'm like, okay. That's the beautiful thing, right? Like you find a level of success, but it's only getting started. And can you imagine? I was so excited for you guys because I know the powerhouses that you've both individually become and stepped into your own, but also stepping into like the next season of this feels really scary because I'm still figuring this out and I feel like there's so much more ahead.
Yeah.
But tell my audience about the changes in like every time you leveled up or switched, or maybe when something went wrong and not to plan in your personal life and in your business life, and how that come full circle, just like school and just like all the other things you just talked about.
I think that for me, the most pivotal and deep things is that I have grown so much in a season of unknowing and despair, and like I laugh about it and I make jokes. It's just like I've been married twice and I have 2 ex-husbands. I'm collecting ex-husbands. Like it's just, I think that what I can say is that I didn't listen to God, when I didn't listen to my earthly father and my heavenly father. I feel like, and I did what I wanted versus what the wisdom of others were trying to bestow upon me. I feel like it has set me for going the long way instead of the right way. And I can say here's the tea. Like, my second marriage was very taxing on me, both physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And I feel like I had people that interceded on my behalf. I had friends, I had family that like held me accountable. I was the shell of myself for like a year, and I was seeing my therapist twice a week, every week, and like doing the things. And I was literally at ground zero, 3 years ago. Like it was awful. It was the worst season of my entire life. But I did the work and I dug my heels in, and I I'm so thankful for such an ugly and heart-wrenching season because it has made my vision so clear now. And I have grown so close to God and so close my community of people, my sisters in Christ. Like I'm literally living in my best right now. And I feel like only the best is yet to come. Yes. But yeah, it's the thing we wish we didn't have to go through. Right? Like, yeah. Why didn't I listen? Why did I think I was doing the right thing? But I so firmly believe that even in our disobedience, in our rebellion, if you know, that's where God's grace and mercy comes in and like swoops us in. Because like that's the whole purpose of him in our life, y'all. Yeah. Like his mercy, we don't deserve it endless. And I just like that. I feel like
if I were to like step outside of my body and look at like how he has had a hand in every single thing, good, bad, or indifferent, it's just like, if I didn't have my ex-husbands, I wouldn't have my babies, and they are my biggest blessings. If I didn't have my ex-husbands, I wouldn't have this, because there's no way that I would have had this with them along my side. Mm-hmm. I needed Kelsey, and I needed Jesus. Mm-hmm. And like, it's just, that is the most powerful piece for me, for sure. I just love this story because it's such a testament to the fact that none of us, whether you would have done everything right, because I feel like in my story, like I did everything I think I was supposed to, right? I never was a troubled teenager. I never, like, my 20s and 30s is what really got me. It was not like, I was not a bad kid. And I don't think we are. I think that just as much as it's hard for maybe our parents to hear this, but like, even though we all want to shield our kids, right? Now we're the parents, and we wish, you know, I know our parents wish we didn't have to go through all these hardships, because it was painful. There's deep wounds and pain and things that we still have to deal with when you go through divorce and like setbacks. And but God fills those potholes, and it's just so much more like comfy and comfortable now. Well, and that's where he does his best work. Hello. I mean, like, need I say more, right? No. That's where I realize, and I look back, I am so thankful. Yes. And I'm driving forth these like breaking generational curses, and like really everything that was stolen from me, but more importantly from my children and my decisions. Yes. And we talk about this all the time. Like, we are stealing it back, and I am claiming double portion for my children and 100-fold on all the things that belong to them, because you know what? It's not us. Like, what I see when I come in here weekly, and when I go into my you know, my business, like that, there is absolutely no way in my mind that you as amazing as you are, or me, could have done this on our own. Oh, and so there is so much of God's provision over this, and like the anointing over this place. Like, it is so incredible to see how God just works, and it's sometimes stuff that you don't even ask for. 100%. And it's just like, I'm like, what? Yeah. It's so good. So powerful. So powerful. Well, I have loved hearing just a little bit of your story. I mean, I obviously have known you for so long. Harder. I don't know. Oh, we have to. And we have to get Kelsey, and then I'm going to get both of them on, because you guys just have to brace yourself. I just adore you guys. I am so thankful for the work that you have done, and because you have blessed me, but I know that you don't only bless me, you bless so many other women. I mean, their salon and your clients are powerhouses. I come in a lot often, and we're all like on our laptops, on the phone, you know, and we walk in a certain way, and I think we walk out, yes, outwardly beautiful, but more importantly, like, she's always lifting me up when I feel like I can't go out and kill or slay the dragon. And she's there for me. And so I know you'll continue to do that with so many other people. And thank you for just being you. Thank you for doing the work. Thank you, because I'm sure that your story is going to touch other people, because thank you for sharing, helping me share my story. Yeah, no, we have to talk more about so many things. So this is only the beginning. And Megan, can you tell everyone where they can find you? You can find our salon at Instagram, Community Style House. You can find our website, communitystylehouse.com. Or you could come by and say hi. And I will also be tagging all her, she also styles. She will come to your closet and she will shop. We've shopped together. Oh yeah. I will text her things. She'll text me with a good time. She will text me like, you got to buy this, it's, be careful, but it's great. It's all good. It's all good. Shopping makes me happy. I don't want to look at fills my soul. And so you can find Megan at Megan Dehan on Instagram. Yep. And yeah, we'll tag all her stuff, and just you guys do yourself a favor, follow her Instagram. Her and her crew are amazing. I have fallen in love with all her girls, and it's just amazing to be in such a beautiful synergy where we have an exchange of moments and tears and laughs. Yeah. Lots of laughs. It's more laughs than tears, but you gotta have tears in there sometimes too. Yeah. Thank you guys, and thank you. Love you.
Thank you for joining me on another episode. If you enjoyed today's tea, make sure to follow, rate, and leave a review. Stay connected with us on social media at The Tea with Martha for updates and behind-the-scenes moments. Remember, every woman's story is a sip of inspiration, and together we're brewing success. This is Martha signing off. Cheers!